Hello everybody, my name is Liam Coppage, and today I'm going to be working on the album series. This is episode 2 of the album series. We're going to be working on a song called Collide by Howie Day. It's an older song, but if you guys know, you know it. So let's get into things. So I have a new live set here. The song that we're going to be working with is in B major. I already set it to B major, and it's 94 BPM, which sounds something like this. Let's do it. So we're gonna work with B major. I want a piano. Let me zoom in here. Let's do 8 bars, I guess. So we're gonna do piano for regular Ableton. Where's the grand piano? Here it is. A little bit of reverb. And let's start making some chords. The chord progression is 1, 5, 6, 4. I love this little website. It's called Hook Theory. Gives you all the chords laid out in this key. The first chord, the 1. 5 chord, A sharp, C sharp. This one, B, D sharp, G sharp. This one is the E, B, E, and G sharp. I can probably mess around with these chords a little bit. So I just kind of made the chord descend in a lower pattern. I just moved this one down an octave and these two down an octave. Now it sounds like this. I want to make it a little slower. There's a little bit slower, a little bit more cinematic. And then I'm going to make a new MIDI clip with the bass. I might arpeggiate it later, so it'll be easier if I just add the bass to this track. So let's just do that. Copy this here, and then we'll just go in here and add the bass notes, which this first one is B, A sharp, G, okay. B, A sharp, G sharp. I also want to go in here into the envelopes. So to MIDI control and sustain pedal, I want to add a sustain. If we just duplicate this, 1, 2, 3. There's an intro also, which might be just one more. Okay, so there's a little interlude in between the first verse and second verse. Only one of these, it does this little interlude right here, and this is whenever the second verse starts. I think the chorus is the same chord progression, it's just bigger. There's a little interlude after the chorus. It's gonna be this guy again. So we have here intro, the first verse, second verse here, straight into the chorus here. Go into the third verse, this chord progression here. And then I think it goes straight into the chorus again. From the duplicate this, the chorus, I think it goes to the bridge. Yep. Alright, so it's just kind of those two chords, the 6 and the 5. If I just take these middle two chords and just bring them over here and do that. What if I mess with the chords here? These are the middle two, so what if I bring this one up? So it's gonna be one of these, and then another one of these. It's basically just 2 more of these after. This is the last chorus. It kind of goes here, and then this is kind of the outro. I might have to move things around the more I work with the song, but we'll see. This is basically just a first basic layout of the song. I want it to be just piano, even through the first verse maybe. I might add a little bit of strings right where in the original song they kind of have some BBs in the background, like do 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 do. I'm trying to think of like what I want to do for that. I don't think in the first verse is there percussion. There's not, but there's kind of the strum of the guitar, which adds kind of like a little percussive element to it. What I might do, I wonder if I can add like a little shaker. We're at 88 BPM, so let's see what we have in here. That one might work. It's a little kind of obnoxious. I'm gonna EQ this, and I'm gonna add a little clipper to this. I'm gonna add the utility here, put it in mod. That's turned down to a good volume. I think just adding a little percussion will help. So I want it to be pretty bare bones for the first verse, and the second verse starting. I think I'll copy this percussion over, and then I want to probably add strings, and then here I'll add some strings. Let's do contact strings. What do I want the strings to do? Because I want it to kind of build up to the chorus, or maybe not, because I want the chorus to kind of be, I want this whole first part of the song to be kind of quiet, kind of like calm, kind of laid back. And as it gets closer, maybe this ramps up to this chorus, drops everything out for the bridge, and this will build up to this chorus and out. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So maybe these strings just add a little bit of texture, nothing too intense. Add some flair, maybe. Let me add all the reverb and duck it down a bunch of volume. And then I'll copy this over, but then I'll do this one down. Maybe I'll do it backwards. I'll do this and do this. I'm gonna add a little bit of I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know if this will work. During the chorus, this first chorus, let's duplicate this over. Have the strings be a little louder, so not 85. I might just add more to this. So just that. That's all that needs. Maybe I'll just duplicate this, maybe. I might actually just cut out this. Extend this like that. So third verse, kind of the same strings as over here. And this chorus, let me grab the arpeggiator and throw it on this. I'm gonna open automation and only turn it on during the chorus. Okay, so we have the arpeggiator there. As strings here, I think I'm gonna have them follow the chords this time since the chorus is arpeggiated. I'm gonna grab this. Select all of these. I hate that. Okay, no, I'm not gonna duplicate that because thinks I'm sustaining the chord. Okay, I'll make a new track, copy over the chords. So now they're like this. I got the chords. So I want to kind of fill out these chords a little bit more. We delete these top notes and then do the same thing with the bottom notes. Bulky strings here. I also want to add a sub bass to the chorus, so in the B bass, which is the best sub bass on Ableton. And then I'm also just gonna copy these, paste those here. Okay, and then I want to also pull this down. If you don't know why, if I'm going in and out of mono, because mono is the best mixed sound that you can get across all speakers, really. If you put your mix in mono for just a split second, it'll like show the frequencies or the things that sound too loud or up front. And so if you turn those down in mono, or while you have the mono sound on, it'll even out your mix a lot. For the bridge, I want it to kind of be really small, just bare piano. I'm gonna keep it like this, but I'm going to turn these down in velocity. Like 80. That sounds good. And then that kind of leads into this. And then this last chorus, I want it to be kind of huge, the same thing. I want this all to build up to the chorus. And so I'm going to add strings here. I'll kind of do a combination. This. And I'll do some arpeggiated strings also. I'm going to cut this down. That kind of builds a little bit. Duplicate this track, cut out everything, do spiccato. I can pull this down. Also, I forgot to go to automation, arpeggiator, device on, throw it on during this chorus. It reminded me because I'm about to grab the arpeggiator again. Let's do up down. That sounds good. What if I do staccato? Pizzicato. I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna go here and do pizzicato. I like that. I'm gonna actually copy this over to the chorus because I think that would sound cool. And then I'll delete that. I think I want to do this differently. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna make a new track. I'm just gonna copy these chords again. And then I'll do the Same thing down here. I kind of want to, so I'll probably just do this. So let's see, that's kind of the main instruments. Is there any other textures I want to add? So we have this little shaker percussion. I'll add some more percussion in a bit. I think I've had like a droning synth kind of this whole time. Let's do this one. I want another synth, but something to be like more droning underneath it. Try this one. This through here. Open up Serum in my other tab. Actually, this one's kind of nice. Let me drag this into here. There's the wind. If I add reverb on all these, just like throw reverb at their face. Fade that out. Get rid of this. Let's cut it here. We'll kind of just loop this. So these I'm gonna fade in. I like those textures. Maybe I'll duplicate these over. I want to get some drums in here, so let me find some. Okay, so I got some drum samples in here from Splice. I just kind of have aligned them to the grid and everything. Got a few in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's 8 in here. Yeah, something like that. I don't know if all of them are going to necessarily work or stay in the song, but I'm just going to mess around and see what I can do. First of all, I'm going to select all these tracks and just turn them down by at least 10, because it's usually pretty loud. Now I'm going to turn up the reverb, and then we're going to turn all of them off, and then we'll turn them on one by one. That one's going to be for the chorus. Chorus drums. Let's do that one for the chorus too. That one's gonna be for the chorus. I'm gonna pick between these two main drums for the chorus. In fact, I'm actually gonna lift them up here as at the very top. Next we have this one, and it's kind of like a low driving beat. I'm gonna keep that one on. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit. Turn this one on. EQ this. I want to take out some of those high frequencies. Let's turn this one on. This one I want to mess around with the chorus. It's just like a light topper. Now, next one. Yes, this one I want for the verse. So maybe not the whole thing. I'll maybe start that there. Okay, next one we're gonna go with here. Where do I want that one? This last one. I'll put it here in the second verse. Now, I want to mess around with these for the chorus. I like this one better, so I'm going to cut this one out. That's those finished. Let me duplicate these across the chorus. Instead of adding this on, I'm going to copy this reverb, throw it straight on here. I think that sounds pretty good. Now for the third verse, I'll copy all this over from the second verse. There we go. I'll cut out these, fade those out, down, copy everything over. I want a little bit of movement in the bridge. There's a little topper. And start building here. And maybe like these back in around here. These for here. This one. And then we'll tear it down with this chorus. Pull everything over. And then extend it, duplicate it over, rid of these, and then I'll pop these guys in here. I think if I get rid of that, and then I want to have a little bit of movement, maybe not outro, and maybe it needs just to be some silence. Intro was just silence for the first, yes, maybe the outro is silence. Yeah, maybe I'll keep it silence. Okay, I have the drums. I'm gonna go ahead and start grouping things. I'm gonna Control G that for group drums. I'm just gonna fold that for now. I need to add the effects, but before I do that, I'm going to group these. Control G and name these, and then I'll add the effect. Let's group all of these in the group of rename effect. Oh yeah, so during the outro, I actually want these. Now the effects, pull all of these over to the chorus like so. So then this one can be like that. I'm going to turn all of these down, up the reverb on all of these. I'm just gonna EQ all of them, and then we'll mix them. They all have EQ. Now I'm gonna turn them one at a time. There we go. I got the effects all mixed. I throw them around. I always want this one. One of these is the bigger one. Always want the impact. Maybe this guy too. Now we're gonna copy all of these. The next chorus, and then the bridge. Except I'm not gonna do this one. And then last chorus, I'll copy. I forgot an effect. Wait, I'm dumb. There it is. That's good there. There's that. We just need to duplicate this. I'm going to add that this is the outro. Okay, so there are all the effects that kind of line up nicely. We can fold this now. Actually, so on the effects, I forgot I was keeping it kind of mellow. So we're gonna get rid of those. Get rid of the impact. And then the third verse, get rid of that, and get rid of that. So that's basically that. All the effects just right. Now we just need to lay down some vocals. I'll do some rough vocals on this just so you guys can see my process and how I sing and whatnot. And then I'll leave it at that. Let's do some vocals. I'm going to lift the table up just a little bit. My microphone's more in front of me. Turn the metronome on. Let's start recording. I'm going to turn my mic down just a bit for the recording purposes on the track, and let's go. The dawn is breaking, a light shining through. You're barely waking, and I'm tangled up in you. Yeah. I'm open, you're close. Where I follow, you'll go. I worry, I won't see your face. Line up again. I think I messed up a little bit on the chorus, but that's basically it. And I'll cut out this little middle part here. And these are just rough vocals. I'm not really trying super hard on these. Just getting them in for the video purpose and just so we can have a full song by the end. Let me throw my vocal chain on here. The dawn is breaking, a light shining through. I'm open, you're closed. Where I follow, you'll go. I'm gonna duplicate this and delete all the vocals, and I'm gonna duplicate this a few more times. We got the chorus here. Let's record the chorus. Even the best fall down sometimes. Even the wrong words seem to rise. Out of the doubt that fills my mind, I somehow find you and I collide. That was the chorus. And even the best fall down sometimes. Even the wrong words seem to rhyme. The third verse. I'm quiet, you know. You make a first impression. I frown, I'm scared to know. I'm always on your mind. I'm quiet, you know. You make a first impression. Next chorus. When the best fall down sometimes. Even the stars refuse to shine. Out of the back you fall in time. I somehow find you and I collide. Even the best fall down sometimes. Even the stars refuse to shine. The bridge I'm gonna record on a different track because the bridge is usually a lot quieter. Don't stop here, I've lost my place. I'm close behind. I think it's like that. I think it's a little odd with the rhythm there. Don't stop here, I've lost my place. I'm close behind. And then we'll go to the chorus again. And this is the last chorus. And then we got the outro. Even the best fall down sometimes. Even the wrong words seem to rise. Out of the doubt that fills your mind, you finally find you and collide. Even the best fall down sometime. Even the wrong words seem to rhyme. Out of the doubt that fills your mind, you finally find you and I collide. You finally find you and I collide. You finally find you and I collide. That's good. The effects channel thing, I want to add a little bit right here. That's all I wanted to do. And we got pretty much a full song here. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out along with this journey, this album that I'm making. And without further ado, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.